Two men had a conversation, man A and man B. Man A says, rain doesn't fall downward from the sky, it flows up from the ground. I can literally see when rain falls from the sky, it drips down, not up. Nope, rain drips upward from the ground, you've got it backwards. But I can see it coming down. Then you must be seeing things. Literally everyone else in the country agrees with me. Rain flows up from the ground, not down from the sky. You're telling me you don't see rain coming downward? I mean, I used to. You can't believe what your eyes see. That's crazy talk. What you should really believe is what everyone else says you should believe. Because if the majority of people believe it, then it's true. Welcome back to Mudwalkers, everybody. My name is Chris. I hope you've subscribed and put a like on the video and all those things. It helps me out a lot with the algorithm. So what you just saw is a very painful example of what's called the bandwagon fallacy.
What is that supposed to mean?
What's a fallacy?
I don't know what that is.
Fallacy is a logical error. Think of logic like math. It has rules with it. So just like in math, how you can't say 2 + 2 = 3, it just doesn't work. There are certain things that you can and can't do in logic because you'll actually get the wrong answer. One example is, we can just look at math again. What if I said 2 + 2 = 3 because I said so? Well, that's called the fallacy of special pleading. What if I said 2 + 2 = 3 because Johnny Johnson person said so? Well, that's the appeal to authority fallacy. Just because some guy said it doesn't mean it's true either. But there's another fallacy here, which is 2 + 2 = 3 because everyone believes that it equals 3. Well, it doesn't mean that it does equal 3, because the 2 next to the 2 equals 1, 2, 3, 4. So it doesn't matter if everyone else thinks that you put 2 next to each other and it makes 3. Well, it doesn't, though. It always makes 4, regardless of what everyone else believes. This is always true. The bandwagon fallacy is a pretty obvious one, but it might surprise you how often it comes up. Before we get to the main subject, let's look at a few examples. Back in the day, everybody thought the Earth was flat. Did that make it true? No, we actually know pretty conclusively now that the Earth is not actually flat. The Earth is spherical. So the majority were wrong. Back in the day, everyone believed young Earth creationism. But today, practically everyone believes in Darwinian evolution. So the majority believed A, and now the majority believes B. Well, which one is true? Does that mean that this used to be true, actually true, and now this is actually true? Like the fossil record just changed when the theory changed? No, that's not how that works. One of these, at least one, has to be false. They can't both be true. A long time ago, the Greeks, the Romans, lots of ancient peoples had their own gods. Well, I think we today, a lot of us would agree that a lot of those gods, at least, most of them, I would say pretty much all of them, with the exception of Yahweh, were not actually gods. Now, does that mean that they didn't exist altogether? Some of them, maybe even all of them, could have been demons, but that doesn't make them gods. These people thought these beings were the actual gods of the universe, but they aren't, even though practically everyone in each of those cultures thought that they were. So if one person in, say, ancient Greece said, Zeus isn't actually in control of all the things that the Greek philosophers say that he is, or the mythologers or whatever they were called. He's not actually like a god like that. And everyone in ancient Greece says, oh, no, you're the only one. You're the only one. Everyone else sees it the way that we see it. So therefore, you're wrong. Nope. If that guy says, well, Zeus isn't actually a god. Well, everyone else thinks Zeus is a god, so you must be wrong. Nope, Zeus was never a god. That one guy would have been right, even though everyone else said he was wrong. It's the bandwagon fallacy. Fallacies, bad. Bandwagon fallacy, also bad. No. It's Patreon time! That's right, this episode of Mudwalkers is brought to you by Patreon. These guys are my patrons. They're making the channel happen. They're keeping my work sustainable. So everybody on Patreon, thank you for what you are doing. You're making my work possible. Right now, Patreon is the best way to support what I do financially. If you believe in the cause, please consider signing up over on Patreon. From the lowest option on Mudwalkers all the way up on Patreon, you get early access to all my mainline content, videos like this one. But at the second lowest tier, the Mudwalker tier, you actually get access to all my Patreon exclusive content as well, and our monthly Zoom call, Zoom hangout, Zoom haul out, Zoom hangout call thing. You get access to that. It's a great time. It's a video call. We all get together and we share stories and hang out and just in general have fun. So one of my favorite parts of having Patreon is getting to meet all you guys on Zoom. Oh yeah, the website. I also have a website now, nakedmeanshuman.com. You can check that out. The website is essentially a glorified link tree. What makes the website special, besides the name that I came up with myself, what makes the website special is the newsletter. Over there you can sign up for our monthly newsletter. You'll get updates like new videos or travel plans that I'm making, like if I'm going to that resort or this beach or whatever. You'll find out about that stuff in the newsletter. But also, if YouTube decides to terminate my channel without notice, again, then you'll get direct access, direct link to me and my content if you want to stay involved and keep tabs on my content, etc., etc. Then the newsletter will put you on our email list to make sure that that can go on and still happen. So that's the Patreon, that's the website, so let's get back into the video. I once had a conversation with a Christian textile who immediately conceded that sure, at least for the sake of argument, maybe it was the sake of argument, maybe it was an actual concession, I don't remember. But he conceded that sure, the Bible doesn't actually condemn nudism. But he immediately insisted that nudism is still wrong because everyone across church history, has this like strict view of modesty, and he couldn't think of a single person in all of church history that would have condoned naturism. That's literally the bandwagon fallacy. Most Christians throughout church history have believed all the Catholic things about Mary, that she was born of a virgin and that Mary never, ever, ever had sex. Ever. Across Christian history, in the medieval period up until the present, that's still the majority view of Mary, is that she was born of a virgin and she was a perpetual virgin until the day she died. Even today, Catholicism remains the largest Christian denomination. So if we're going to do the whole bandwagon thing, then be a Catholic. My fellow Protestants will immediately balk at the Mary stuff, and I get it. Having done the reading myself, I'm going to agree with my fellow Protestants that Mary probably wasn't, almost definitely wasn't, I'm going to say definitely wasn't, pretty much definitely, wasn't born of a virgin. And she wasn't a perpetual virgin. She had other kids. So no, she wasn't a perpetual virgin. So I don't take the Catholic view of Mary myself. The bandwagon there doesn't faze me, and it shouldn't faze you, and it doesn't faze most Protestants that I've ever heard of. The denominations I've ever been involved in don't take this view of Mary. I don't think that it should bother us that most Christians think a certain way when the Bible doesn't actually give us the framework to actually believe that. It doesn't give us enough data to make these grand conclusions about this woman. So when this guy came back with, oh, well, most Christians, I immediately knew it was the bandwagon fallacy. Now be careful. Most people do not like to have fallacies pointed out to them when they do the fallacies. And even if you do encounter someone where you point out the fallacy and the person is not upset with you, the person often will not believe you that the person just committed that fallacy. So saying the word fallacy isn't going to automatically get people to agree with you about the fallacy itself or your point of view that you're talking about in the first place. But if your interlocutor has an ounce of intellectual honesty, you pointing out that fallacy will eventually make a difference. Will it get the person to agree with you? No. But if the person, again, has any intellectual honesty, the person will eventually agree, okay, technically, that's a fallacious claim, and that doesn't actually make a difference for this conversation. The key in having this kind of disagreement with someone is to remain charitable and amicable, personable. As much as lies with you, live at peace with all people. Romans 12:18. Awe ke'u nodo ai.